There are local elections coming up in Iceland very soon, or sveitastjórnarkosningarnar, as they are called. Iceland is divided into 62 separate municipalities, but in this video I am almost exclusively going to focus on the funny stuff. Some of the hilarious failures that have occurred in this election cycle or leading up to it. And believe me, we got a few good ones. But first, some more additional information. So Iceland is divided into 62 municipalities. There is no government level in Iceland between the national level and the municipality. There just isn't any need for such a small, sparsely populated country. So yeah, municipality level is fine. The most populous municipality is, of course, Reykjavik, with a population of circa 138,000 people, while the least populous is, I think, Tjörnesreppur, which has a population of 55-ish. And in terms of geography, Seltjarnarnes is the smallest, 2 square kilometers in size, versus Þingeyjarsveit is by far the largest geographically speaking. It is larger than some countries. It covers 11,000 square kilometers, so it's slightly larger than the country of Qatar, yet its population 1,471 according to the latest census. Like I said, there are 62 municipalities, and 8 of them have a population of 10,000 people or more, and more than 20 have a population of under 1,000. Anyway, let's now talk about some shenanigans. So, this here is Selfoss, and it is one of the fastest growing towns in all of Iceland, and it's a part of the municipality called Árborg. Anyway, so yeah, it's an up-and-coming area. A lot of people are moving there. It's a boom town, basically. And one thing very interesting is about the ballot there. Well, the fact that the center party is not on the ballot. That's curious. Well, what's up with that? Because recently there was a poll where the center party was actually polling as the largest party in this region of Iceland if it were a national election. But still, so yeah, they are absolutely killing it in southern Iceland right now, which is, like, they are taking over what has basically been a conservative party stronghold for decades and decades and decades. So yeah, obviously they should be on the ballot in Selfoss. So why aren't they? Well, simplest reason in the world, they fucked up their paperwork. Yeah, literally. They placed in their papers, to make them legally allowed to be on the ballot, an hour too late. The guy shows up with the list of candidates literally 1 hour past the fucking deadline. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, that is astonishingly incompetent. Another strange absentee on ballots everywhere is the People's Party. Now, if you remember, the People's Party was one of the main winners of the last parliament election. Like, they came in very strong. They basically became the new left wing, the new sort of populistic, more nationalistic left wing, and just sort of swooped the wokeness under the rug. And should also be noted that in the municipality elections before that, in 22, they also made some impressive victories. They got their first member elected to the city board in Akureyri, for example, but now they're not fielding any candidates in Akureyri or anywhere. Yeah, they are only on the ballot in Reykjavik. What's up with that? Now, part of the reason is because the party is sort of broke. Yeah, like they don't have any money. They spent so much money on the last parliament election. Also, they also fucked up with some paperwork, so they didn't work. Actually, they did get grants that they were supposed to get from the government, but then it then it became clear that they weren't supposed to get these grants because, yeah, they weren't properly registered as a political party. Yeah, it's a mess. Also, recently, again, it's a party that's in power. One of their ministers just resigned and resigned from the party, and yeah. So there is something very off with the People's Party right now. Like, they are just completely sitting this election out. That is fascinating. And finally, there is also one other left-wing party that is also just sitting this election out. I'm, of course, talking about the Pirates. Yeah, so, I mean, the Pirate Party has always been sort of the most of their grassroots support has been in and around Reykjavik. There hasn't been that much grassroots support in other parts of the country. They tried to field some candidates in Akureyri in the last municipality elections. They didn't get anyone elected. In fact, they got very hilariously far away from getting anyone elected. But hey, it's the thought that counts. They tried. This year, they are not even trying. And I'm not just talking about Akureyri. I am talking about the whole country. The only place in Iceland where you can actually vote for the Pirates directly on the ballot is Reykjavik. They are not even trying any of the other towns and cities within the capital city area. They are not even bothering with Árborg or Reykjanesbær, even though they once managed to get someone elected in Árborg. So what's going on? And the thing that's going on is that the Pirates are just sort of giving up, I think. Now, the Pirates did also have a very funny setback. So, this winter, one of their most prominent figures, Dóra Björt, I think her name is, she's been a member of the Reykjavik City Council since 2018, I believe. And basically, she was kind of the face of the Pirates during their great leftward shift. You need to remember that the Pirates were, at the very start, sort of moderately left-wing. Like, they were radical in terms of, drug legalization. Well, that's a difficult one. On matters such as government transparency and restructuring the government and direct democracy and all that. But in terms of social issues and just left-wing economics, they were just sort of, they were definitely no one's radicals there. Dóra Björt, well, she didn't spearhead this change. What happened was there were a lot of disgruntled left-wingers that left, for example, the Left Greens and joined the Pirates, and the party just sort of radicalized itself slowly but surely. But Dóra Björt was always seen as the sort of face of this, left-wing radicalization of the Pirate Party. Because of that, it was absolutely hilarious when she announced this winter that she would leave the Pirates and join Samfylkingin, the Social Democrats. This is funny for several reasons. One of those reasons is that Samfylkingin has very visibly and measurably moved to the right under the current leadership of Kristrún Frostadóttir. And one of the reasons why that Dóra Björt cited that why she's leaving the Pirates is because the party has shifted too much to the left and stuff like that. But I think literally nobody believes her. I think everybody thinks, nah, she's just power hungry. She wants to stay in office and she just sees the Pirates as a sinking ship. Because, I mean, sure, she can cite that the party is going further to the left, but she was fully on board. I mean, this is Dóra Björt right here in this ad from 22.
Til að skapa meira rými til að vera alls konar. Píratar róa öllum árum í átt að fjölbreyttu og aðgengilegu mannréttindasamfélagi. Það ekki bara réttlátt, heldur líka best fyrir okkur öll.
And also that she then moves to Samfylkingin when the Samfylking is clearly moving further to the right. Yeah, I don't think anyone's buying that. That was a quick overview of, some of the shenanigans that have been going on because of the local elections. My next video is almost certainly definitely just going to be covering the election results and stuff like that. So Thank you all for watching, like and subscribe, all the good stuff, og við sjáumst, bye!